Do we have any apologies for absence?
No apologies for this meeting.
Good. Do we have any declarations of interest? No, that's good. Has everyone on the committee had a copy of the minutes of the previous meeting held on the 22nd of December?
Yes.
And do you agree that those are a correct record of what occurred at that meeting? Would someone like to propose that we accept those as a true record?
Lovely.
Thank you.
And are we all agreed?
Are we all agreed on that?
Thank you.
Yes.
So just with, I'll just get you to sign those minutes there, Councillor Meadows, and just with regards to matters arising, everything's been actioned. Thank you.
Are there any matters arising?
No, all actioned. Thanks very much.
All action?
Yeah, yeah.
Members of the public, do you have any comment on those minutes or anything else? Yes.
If I can ask one question. Will all the documentation pertaining to the budget be published publicly? For example, the actual budget sheets that you've been working through, the spreadsheets I saw in the last meeting, anything pertaining to role reviews, all that documentation, will it all be published?
My understanding is that will be published at the appropriate time.
Well, a consolidated version.
Or a consolidated version, yes.
What does that mean?
There are legal requirements about publishing that, and we will follow those requirements.
Do you mean there are legal requirements around publishing salaries, which I completely get should be kept confidential, or do you mean there's legal requirements about the itemised items in the budget?
I don't want to go into that at this point, but if you like to put that into writing, we will answer it. Okay?
Right, okay.
Okay, thank you. No other? Yes.
Yeah, I had exactly the same question.
Oh, okay.
I just don't feel it was answered.
Fine.
So,
Committee, we have some reports from Horsham District Council, which again I think you've all had an opportunity to look at. There's a SIL report, a SIL spending deadlines, and an S106 report.
Want me to?
If you would, please. Thank you.
Because included in those reports was a change. The SIL report shows a withdrawal of funds because something would have attracted SIL as a development. No longer attracted SIL because it's going to be self-developed by the person who's buying it, and therefore some SIL that had actually been paid to us is being withdrawn by releasing one of the other payments. So SIL has gone down. The SIL that we were expecting to arrive in April next year, April this year, sorry, has been reduced by something like 10,000. It's just over 10,000 pounds. And that's shown in the two of the reports, conflicted with the expectation we've been given by the District Council before.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame to lose a five-figure sum out of our projected budgets for this coming fiscal year. Can you say anything about the spending deadlines? Are we still within those?
No problem.
No problems there. Good. S106. I think very little going on in S106 these days, isn't there? Okay, that's good.
I'm afraid that we've had no update from Horsham about our request to
The bid.
S106.
No, I haven't had a response, but I can chase that. I think that was on the list, wasn't it, to be chased?
I think there are a couple of outstanding questions we were waiting for answers for from HDC.
we seem always to be waiting for answers from HTC. Item 7 on the agenda, committee to consider and agree regarding transfer from SIL reserves in the current budget. To resolve to make recommendations to full council on SIL projects. That was column J on the spreadsheet.
Do you want to give any info what we're asking full council?
The biggest the expenditure out of SIL is the improvements to the football pavilion. The aim of any parish council, and certainly the aim of this parish council, is to ensure that its facilities can be used to their fullest potential for the community, whatever community projects or interests go on in it. Unfortunately, the football pavilion is 20 years out of date and with little money spent on it. So to invest in the pavilion will go the total way for the pavilion to be used by the community potentially 100% of the time, instead of at the moment probably about 20% of the time. So we are looking at a large sum of money, but unfortunately that's where it is, which will be approximately £45,000.
I will be looking for the details and I'm happy to support that request.
Any other?
I'll second the
So I was going to say, is there any other comments on that? No?
Thank you.
So are you proposing that, Bill?
I propose it.
Yeah.
Are you just proposing the 45,000 or the full amount?
I think it was
47.
47.
Yeah, okay. And any more, or is just that's the only one that's coming out of this year's SIL?
There was a potential transfer for a solar panel at the football club to make sure, not football club, the garages, to make sure
Yeah.
they're safe for health
We've been
and safety.
investigating it. It's just not quite a solution. It doesn't generate enough power, so we're going to have to look into an alternative, maybe a power pack or
Sure.
something like that. But the solar won't produce sufficient energy for the project we want.
I think we put enough aside to make sure that that was
Yeah.
a safe working
Yeah.
environment.
Okay, so that's 47 on the SIL for the football club.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and sorry.
I got a figure of 45 in the budget for this year for the football club. It says 45,000.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah,
Was it
that's what I've got on the
45?
spreadsheet here. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 45. Lovely.
Very well.
Okay.
There are other items there.
Yeah. Are you not proposing that the others come across?
There's cricket nets.
Cricket nets?
Yeah, it could be the cricket nets.
Yeah.
No, the cricket net's soon for next year, next
Okay.
financial. This is not transfer. What we're talking about, a transfer out of coloured seal
Yes.
to now and the end of
Yes.
March. So we currently have waste bins to be replaced.
This isn't a one-off opportunity. We can discuss
Sure.
this at another meeting, but if you,
Indeed, it was really the
if you just want to
significant
confirm
amount.
45,
That was
yeah,
The
the
45
main drive
is
of this.
the significant sum, the others are relatively small.
yeah.
But we could use this opportunity to do it all.
But let me know, yeah.
So at the moment we have some money set aside for, as I say, the safety aspect of the lock-up.
So we're going to go with the 45 at the football pavilion. And sorry, how much on the, what line is that? What was the value?
There's £1,000.
£1,000.
We don't expect it to be anywhere near that, but that's a
And that was
budget.
for
Line 16. Line 16.
950.
On the spreadsheet.
Yeah, fabulous. Okay, that's the £1,000 Well, that's £1,000 for the solar lock-up.
Yeah.
Are we going to find another solution then?
I think
Yeah.
within the budget we
Okay.
will find a better solution
Yeah.
that includes the battery.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
because the time we need it is when it needs to be stored. The speed lamp at the leisure centre is broken, been
Again.
removed,
Yeah.
so we need to
Yeah,
replace that.
definitely do. Yeah.
We've had some broken play equipment that we are looking to replace out of seal.
Yeah. Okay. That's the 3,000. Yeah.
And as I said before, the waste beams to replace the ones that have been
Yeah.
broken
Okay.
or
So that's
nicked.
2.5 there, and then you've got your 6 for these stage gardens.
Sure, yes.
So that brings you down to your total of 59.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed on that. Someone want to propose that figure?
Yeah.
Yes.
So who's proposing? Lovely. Thank you.
Happy to second.
Lovely.
Thank you very much.
And are we all voting on that?
Voting on that.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Fabulous. Okay.
Item 8 on the agenda, the committee to consider and agree regarding the budget for 26-27. This is for the precept for 26-27 fiscal year, and as you all know, we've had many discussions on this.
Explain the process just to the cabinet, just so that people know that it's
Yeah.
working and how we got to where we got to.
This is a formal committee meeting which is fully minuted. Everyone on this committee can attend a working group meeting, of which I've lost count how many we've had. Yes. So that we can discuss informally and have good, free discussions about every single line in the budget. The budget is split up by general administration costs, and then each of the 5 subcommittees of council will put forward items they want to be included, and those are shown on separate pages. The only committee that doesn't have a budget is this one. All other committees can have a budget, and they submit their items to the Finance Committee for discussion and for approval or rejection or modification, whatever is appropriate. So we then add it all up and we go, and then we discuss it all collectively and say on numerous occasions. It must run into double figures, the meetings we've had. And every member has an equal right to put forward his view. That has been done and been discussed. And I'm very pleased to say that the vast majority of items were fully agreed. So, having gone through that, there were some compromises to be made, of course, that's the nature of discussions. But we have come to a figure in which we need to agree between ourselves at this committee meeting, so that we then put that forward to the full council meeting, which will be held at 7:30.
I'm happy with the work we've done on the budget and the numbers we've reached. I would be happy to support that as a recommendation to the council.
Okay, so who's seconding that?
So-
Sorry, who's that?
Before we go on, a couple of things to say. First of all, yes, I think this committee has done an awful lot of work on this subject, and a lot of views have been expressed from different points, and it's quite clear that my views are different from other members of the committee, because I'm more focused on keeping the burden on the taxpayer down than others are. But we did move together on a lot of items, and got to a stage where about 95% of the items on the budget were agreed. But I still feel that if we were to move on about 4 of those other items, 4 or even 5 of those other items, then we could move from a situation where you can still have the vast bulk of your items on the budget, and you can keep council tax increase down to a much lower level of 5%. I'm not going to go through all the arguments here because we as a group have been through all this before. I'm expressing my opinion again. My opinion hasn't changed, my views haven't changed, my principles haven't changed, and that is the position that I'm at.
Okay, thank you. That's absolutely appropriate. Thank you. So, Councillor Loney has proposed.
The point of order, Mr. Chairman, I'd like a vote recorded,
Okay.
please.
Yeah.
Yep, fine. Councillor Loney has proposed that we stay with the budget that's already been circulated.
I'll second.
Were you seconding?
And so how are we voting? Okay, and against? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. So our outcome is that it's the budget is agreed.
Carried. So item 9, the Finance and Governance Committee to resolve to make a recommendation to full council if the budget is agreed, which it just has been, the precept request will be £376,635. That will be the amount we recommend to full council to request as a precept to Horsham District Council. Yep. Do we need to?
Yeah, if somebody would like to propose.
I'll propose that.
Lovely, thank you.
Could I have a word on this before we propose it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, the same applies in that this is part of the whole process. I don't agree it. But furthermore to it, I don't think it's appropriate in a public meeting to simply say we agree we accept a precept of 376,000, whatever it is, out of context. There seems to be a problem with mentioning what percentage increase that you are going to cause on the parishioners of Last Village with that number. It is a 19% increase in the council tax that individual households in this parish will pay as of next year.
That's not correct, Brian. It's a 19% increase on our precept. That is not on the whole council tax.
So if my wordage was wrong there, 19% on our precept, that is on the as an element of the council tax.
That is correct.
Correct. But
Yes.
that's not what you said, sorry.
If I said it incorrectly, then thank you for correcting me. But this, the point remains, is 19% increase on the council tax element that is for this parish. That is what will appear whenever it is council tax demand, when it drops through the door in April. And I think we need to be upfront that that is what we are proposing here at our meetings tonight. Okay? Because that is the value, 19% that will be on there. And also, we should be mindful of what that actually means in terms of an amount that individuals will end up paying, because that is significant now. So it's of the order of £23 for a band in a household, which is a typical household in Storrington.
And D is around £17, which works out to 4.9 pence per day.
Right, I think we have worked it in thought what the consequence be, and at 4p a day, I think the council felt that the things we want to do will be offset by 4p a day.
So,
Just point of order, I'd like to vote recorded, please.
okay. Right.
So you've proposed.
I've proposed.
Councillor Loney's, yeah, okay. So actually you've proposed, sorry, who seconded that? Lovely, thank you. Okay, and who is voting for? Lovely, and who is voting against? Okay. So, we're agreed on that one. Thank you.
Good. Moving on to item 10 on the agenda, we have the payments list for January. Councillors to consider and agree payment list for January. Again, I think you've all had an opportunity
Yeah,
to...
updated yesterday and circulated yesterday.
Yeah.
So, just need to have a look through. I don't think there's anything that I need to draw to your attention. I had a good look through. I couldn't see anything that looked a little bit strange or inexplicable. So, yeah, but please do ask me any questions.
Any questions from the committee?
Just a question on the good water. How frequently do we have them coming?
Monthly, yeah. We are going to consider some other options when their contract comes up for renewal. I'm looking into alternative providers at the moment. I might be asking some neighbouring parish councils who they use and who they would recommend.
Yeah.
So,
Is everyone
anyone proposing the
proposing
payments
these?
list?
Any comments on this?
No comments.
I'll
Okay,
propose.
lovely. Seconding, lovely, thank you very much. And how are we voting? Yeah, okay, lovely, thank you very much. So we have actually, while you're doing that, we've got some bank reconciliations as well, which I'll get you to sign, please, Councillor Meadows, after the meeting. So at the moment, your Lloyd's current account at the end of December was £29,651.77. Our Lloyd's savings account on the 9th of this month was £161,186.13. Our Redwood Bank and new savings account on the 19th of this month, we transferred 10,000 over, Peter, didn't we, from the Lloyd's savings account. Our Hampshire Trust Bank account on the 6th of January, again a new savings account, we've put £100 in there, that's the current balance at the moment, just to get that one up and running. That's exactly. Unity Trust at the end of December on the 31st, we had £91,615.34. This is not a particularly, well, it's very low interest account actually, so when we do get our Cambridge and Counties account set up, we'll be transferring that balance. Generally, our reserves are in there. We'll be transferring that over to, I think it's 4 point something, isn't it? If the interest
We
rate
still get
hasn't
about 4%.
changed. Yeah, so we'll be doing that, but obviously we need, for that application to go through, we need all councillors' details. They wanted the full 15, so we'll be reminding everybody, those that have forgotten. So we intend to open yet another higher yielding account for that. So that brings the total bank reconciliation at the 19th of this month to £301,833.24. So if you've all had those circulated to you, so we'll ask Peter to sign after the meeting, if that's all right.
The idea of opening these different accounts was basically to get better rates of interest. Since then, of course, the bank rate has been reduced, so we'll all see what that does as well. But nonetheless, some of these accounts were paying a very small amount of interest. So we hope to make a significant increase on the interest we can earn on that.
Okay, and then just also the accompanying bank transfers, which I've listed for you as well, for you to note, which just represent the movements between those accounts while we were setting those up. So they're there for you to note as well.
Noted.
Okay.
Do we need to?
We don't know.
No,
we don't
good.
need to. You're just
Good.
noting and signing.
In preparation for devolution, we have been attending meeting with other parish councils nearby, meeting in Henfield. This one, the last one, was actually held on Monday lunchtime, just after lunch. Our clerk and myself attended that with, interestingly this time, somebody from Horsham District Council actually attended and spoke for quite a long time, answered questions, but I think it wasn't overly positive. I think they are making various conditions about devolving car parks to individual councillors.
They've slightly changed their stance, haven't they? So that was Paul Anderson, who was the Director of Community. Just the information or the process as it had previously been outlined to us. Sharon also was at the meeting. It just has shifted slightly, and now Peter, you've attended a training course today as well, where it sort of shed a little bit more concern.
Yes, it did.
Or highlighted a bit more concern. You know, we were wondering maybe if these assets would come, the car parks basically, would come to us because we don't want anyone else managing them. You know, we want to ensure that they're run for the benefit of our residents and for the benefit of High Street. So really we might not want to take them on, but I think we need to just to protect our high streets. But the process as it was outlined in the beginning doesn't seem quite as simple or as straightforward. An income yielding asset will be paired with a liability. There's an awful lot of negotiating and jiggling and agreeing, and I think, Peter, you're slightly worried with the formation of a new Horsham Town Council that will be taking over some of the responsibilities of the District Council that will be dissolved, that they might also manage to grab our car park. So we need to be super prepared, super on board, and get some advice, really. And so we're acting together. Sharon is the chair of Pulborough. We're clustering with Enfield, Storrington, us obviously, Stenny and Pulborough. We're clustering together, and I think strength in numbers, really. And we'll seek advice and make sure we come out of it the right way.
So for this particular one, we're actually putting an expression of interest just to hold that.
We will ask full council next week to do that, but we're actually a bit behind the curve. The other councils have already done that, but we just need to keep our irons in the fire at this stage.
That would just be a placeholder. We'll pull out at any time, depending on how things pan out. But it is, I think, generally recognised that car parks do earn a profit. It is a positive asset. The difficulty is that if you take one coal out of the fire, it goes cold, and it may turn into a liability rather than an asset. But that's still up for discussion and will be ongoing for quite some time, I think.
It would be useful at full council if we can ask our district and county if they give us more updates on the timetables and
Yes.
sorts of things.
And in fact, our district councillor, Councillor Claudia Fisher, was also in attendance of the meeting, because Claudia, you've had some experience as well with car parks already, haven't you? So there are lots of questions to be asked and not necessarily all the answers provided.
Peter, we've got the meeting on the 17th of February with Horsham District Council, which is their annual plan, annual plans. So I suspect there'll be an opportunity, not just from us, but I'm sure other parishes to ask lots of questions.
I'm sure they will.
I'm sure we will have them, so we may actually find out
That'd be good.
from a senior
That'd be good.
executive of Horsham.
They do tend to keep their cards very close to their chest. Yeah. Any further comment on that item? No? Okay. I don't think I have any announcements or items for the next agenda at this point.
I think that at our next meeting we should be considering a working group, if you like, for devolution, because it's not just car parks, we should be looking at other things, other bits of assets that we might be eligible to.
Indeed. It's just the first item that's been discussed, and this little group has been very, very interesting. Very interesting. See how other people are tackling it. Okay. In that case, the next meeting is scheduled for the 25th of February at 6:30 p.m. and I will declare this meeting closed. Thank you very much.
Ah.